Hi, I'm Jesse Nathanson.
And I'm Adam Hushin.
And we're the GM Video Announcements crew.
And in this episode, we're talking about all the electives in the school.
It's our longest and funniest ever.
So, what classes do you teach?
I teach yearbook.
Why should people take this class?
It's a great way to create a lasting memory and historical document about General McLean High School.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Cousins. I teach creative writing. Creative writing is a non-prerequisite course, so you don't have to have another course to feed into mine. The course is only 9 weeks, which is nice for an open slot, and it's a half credit. In the course, we write every day. If you don't enjoy writing, if you haven't gotten an A or a B in your English class, this might not be the course for you. But there are some advantages. It's a small class. It's grades 9 through 12. You get to know some other students in the school. And it's very low-key and relaxed. We have very little homework. We write in class and we share our work with each other people who love writing too.
Hi, my name is Miss Muma and I teach public speaking. Public speaking is a 9-week elective for grades 9 through 12. Some of the things we do in public speaking is we give impromptu speeches, we do a wedding toast, we memorize monologues. I would say one of the best reasons to take public speaking is so you can be more comfortable speaking in front of your peers and in groups. And I think the kids enjoy the class. It's really all about practice, and that's the secret to being a good public speaker. So I'll look forward to you taking my class. Another elective I teach is called Literature and Film. It's a 9-week elective, and in that class we learn different film techniques and cinematography techniques. The students analyze a piece of a film that's one of their favorites, and the students also take a very, very short story, screenwrite a plot for it, and film it and show it to the class. In addition, we read some short stories and watch their film counterparts. We do 2 director studies. We do one of Alfred Hitchcock, and we also do one of a director of the student's choice.
Hello, I'm Mr. Jenkins, and welcome to Acting and Set Design. If you take the class, we're going to be in the auditorium every day, and this is what you're going to see all the time. You'll be on stage performing in front of your classmates who will evaluate how well you can act. In the class, we talk about 4 different definitions of acting. The most important one is that acting is the realistic portrayal of emotions. So every day you come in here, you have to be angry, be happy, be in love, be excited, be sad. Hopefully not all at the same time, but you have to show emotions realistically. We talk about a quote from Tom Hanks who says how stressful acting is, because every night before he goes to work, he panics, wondering whether you can actually show emotion realistically. But besides the acting part, we also work on lights. And up there, you're going to see all the lights you're going to work on. We'll be up in the catwalk, up in the light booth, setting lights and learning how to operate the light board. So hopefully you're willing to try something a little different, try to act, and play with some lights. Ethics class is part of the Academy of Medical Arts and Engineering. It was created because, as the Academy was created, our cohorts in LECOM and manufacturing areas said a lot of the people they have applying for jobs don't have a strong sense of what's right or wrong, what's moral, immoral in terms of their career. The class is set up like a college seminar class, so there's lots of reading, and every day students come in and they discuss what they've read, sharing their opinions and their views. The goal, though, is to make doctors, nurses, engineers, accountants more ethical in their careers. So the class actually finishes with a research paper in your chosen career. You'll research a famous scandal in your career and talk about how you might handle a similar situation as you become a professional. Part of the class is called hedonistic calculus. It's a formula to decide what is the best thing to do for the most people. If you have a tough decision to make, you have to consider all the people who could be affected by your decision and talk about how your choices would affect each of them, so that when you become a professional, you can act in the most ethically way possible.
Hi, my name is Mr. Weibel, for those of you that don't know, and I teach a class called Cultural Competence. The first thing you should know if it's an elective you choose is that if you're in the academy, you really don't have a choice. It is actually a requirement for students in the academy. But that doesn't mean it's not open to other students. Something else that you should know is that the class is actually split between myself and Mr. Jenkins. And I'm sure Mr. Jenkins on the video told you a little bit about the ethics side of the class. My side deals with cultures. What we do is, ultimately the goal is to help students understand what culture is, how our culture affects our thoughts, our behaviors, our feelings, the way we interact with one another. And the way I do that is through a bunch of activities and exercises in class, group things, but we also bring in some guest speakers that are experts in the field. Some of those guest speakers are people that work in engineering, people that work in the medical profession, doctors and nurses. We also, one of the kind of key pieces of the course is we'll take a field trip to the Multicultural Resource Center in downtown Erie. It's a place where we get to meet some community members that are immigrants. We have refugees in our community. We have people in our community that are working with these people, and so we get an introduction to what goes on in Erie County as far as some of the different cultural groups that make up our population. So that's kind of a fun day. I guess if anything, probably the biggest goal and the thing I could say that explains it best is that the class is really designed to remind us of a lesson that we probably all should be reminded of more often, and that is that not everybody looks, thinks, acts, feels, or believes the same things that we do. So check it out. Another elective course that I teach, and that is psychology. Psychology is one of the social studies electives, but what I like to say about psychology is that it's a lot different than most of the other social studies electives. You're not going to learn about wars, you're not going to learn about presidents, you're not going to learn about history. Instead, you're going to learn about things like learning and conditioning, you're going to learn about how your memory works, you're going to learn about your personality. We spent some time talking about mental illness and mental health. And because of that, I always say to my students that psychology is one of the cool things I think that the students find out after they take it is that, well, number one, almost everything that we do in this elective is like brand new information, things that you've never learned before. And that's kind of fun. It's all new stuff. It kind of makes it sometimes a little bit difficult, but learning all these new concepts is pretty neat for the students. And the other thing that I like to say is that just by the nature of the content, psychology is very personal. So every student that sits in that class and goes through learning about memories or learning about how we learn, you can personalize all of it because it's all about how your memory works or about how your personality is developed. And so I think in that sense, the students really enjoy it as well. So I hope to see you in there.
Good afternoon. I'm Mr. Hager. I teach some of the required classes like U.S. History 2 and Civics and Economics. But I also offer 2 electives that you're able to take. The first one is sociology. Sociology is a study of human behavior as it pertains to being a part of a group. And so we study things like culture, race and ethnicity, your role in the family, among other things. We'll do a lot of discussion-based classes and projects, posters, video projects, and movies are included. You should take this class because it's a really good class. It also couples well with psychology from Mr. Weibel. Between those 2 classes, you have a full array of education based on what kind of behavior and why you are like you are. My other elective is U.S. World War II and the Greatest Generation. World War II was the most pivotal event in 20th century history. We'll take a study of the war as it pertains to military applications. We'll cover areas like the Holocaust, prisoners of wars in both the Pacific and the European theater, racial, and the role of women in that war. We'll also look at how this war developed the people that became the Greatest Generation. There's a lot of movies in this class, both documentaries and Hollywood movies. People who take it say they learn a lot. You should take it because it's just the right thing to do. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Krzeski. I teach family living. I have 4 levels of foods class: Fun Foods, Basic, Advanced, and Lancer Pantry. And the first level is Fun Foods, and that's a class where you use box mixes and ready-made products. And we do all kinds of fun activities and lots of recipes. We cook 3 to 5 times a week. And it's a 9-week course. It counts as, well, all my classes count as an art elective. Basic foods, you take recipes from a book and you make everything from scratch. And the next level would be the advanced class, and that's more of a meal planning class where you take all kinds of recipes from books, but you plan your menu from appetizers all the way to desserts. And then the last level is your Lancer Pantry, and that is a course where it's just pastry arts and you learn how to make things like cookies, pies, decorating cakes, and things like that. It's normally offered during the Christmas holidays.
My name is Eric Andrzejewski. I won the t-shirt design, and my design was based off a Brooklyn Nets t-shirt. And on like the side of it, there's like a Lancer head, like a half Lancer head, and then it says General McClain on the side, like right down the middle. And underneath the Lancer head, there's Lancers, so it's kind of like off to the side. You can't really see it, but it's still there. Oh, well, the competition fits in because like everyone was making a t-shirt, and then Mrs. Bentley's class decided on who won. And it's a fun class because you're making logos for people, and because there's 2 graphic design classes, and first one's kind of like you kind of follow the teacher more, and then the second class in graphic design 2, you're more freestyling it and you're doing your own stuff, and she's not really helping you as much. But it's really fun. Well, I definitely like the competition because I like competition. It's fun. It's like trying to compete against everyone else in the class is fun because it gives you like a incentive to win, and it's just a fun class in general. And I've talked about doing stuff like this with my parents and downloading these like the Adobe programs on our computer at home so I can learn more and become better at it, and possibly pursue that during my life.
My name is Nick Rennick, and I was the winner of the sweatshirt design for Drama Queen. Well, the class is mostly hands-on, and the teacher projects what we're like learning for the class, and she kind of describes what we're doing and shows us what we're drawing, and it's a lot of hands-on. We get to practice a lot with the tools that we use to make the design and all that. Mine had a Lancer on a horse faded in the background, and I had the letters GM meshed together and kind of like bolded out so you can really see it. And then I have General McClain and then Lancers at the bottom of it with red and black and with a large stroke so you can really see it. Able to be purchased at the student store for all the students.
Hi, my name's Mr. Graham. I teach fitness and weight training as an elective class. Coach Wells also teaches fitness 1 and 2. And I think it's a great class. If you're a beginner lifter, if you've ever wanted to even get started in taking care of your body, I think fitness and weight training is the best way to do it because it gives you basic knowledge of lifting, how to design a program. It takes a look at nutrition, all the different concepts that are out there about weight training. We have a beautiful weight room now. This is not recommended for students in sport, though. If you're looking to be in all 3 sports, you probably don't want this class because sometimes your coaches want you to not train or this and that. This is for people that really want to train, get themselves in shape, maybe not affiliated with sports.
My name is Mr. Smirker. I teach team sports at General McClain High School. That is an elective, very popular elective for 9th graders and 10th graders. It is a class on how to develop almost coaching techniques and strategies. It is a 9-week class. It involves 5 project papers, being team handball, volleyball, basketball, football, and I think softball. During these classes, you'll learn all the key team points. You'll be responsible to conference with teammates on your key team points, develop a strategy paper, and conference with the teacher explaining the knowledge that you have of all the key team points in team sports.
Hi, I'm Miss Buffalini. I teach extreme fitness. It is an elective for health and PE for senior year. And in there we do a lot of different types of things. Zumba, yoga, Pilates, Beachbody programs. Sean T is an instructor, 21-day fix. It's a really great class. You have to be ready to come in every day and work your rear end off, and it'll pay off. So it's called Extreme Fit for a reason. Only the strong will survive.
It's really fun to be able to bring home a physical object that you created, and Mrs. Thompson is such a great teacher, and she always promotes your creativity.
All the projects are really fun.
The first project we did was called a sgraffito box, and we made a box and we painted it black, and then we scraped away to create an image on the sides, and we also made a mug that you can actually drink out of, and we finished with a coil pot. I definitely recommend this class. It's really fun, and you get to do a lot, and you get to just create stuff that you really like, so I definitely recommend it.
We built a wall section with drywall, and we also learned how to fix and repair a toilet as well as a sink. And we also learned the basics of electricity, how to wire like outlets if you wanted to do something in your house. If something goes wrong in my house, like my toilet is like flooding or whatever, I have the basics to fix it.
Good course to take, I definitely recommend it.
I'm really happy that I took this course because it provided me with like life lessons that I can take with me.
Teaching metals since I started here, since 2014. So this is my 4th year teaching metals. Oh, it's probably one of my favorite classes. Metal fabrication is an awesome class. It's a great class for kids to take. They get a lot of hands-on fabrication experience. About my job is I don't feel like I'm working. I come in each day, I'm not dreading coming in. I'm usually one of the first teachers here, usually one of the last teachers to leave. And I just build stuff all day, help kids build stuff all day. It's really just a great experience all around. I'll teach metals for another 31 years, and then I would like to think that I'll be out of here by then. I think it's very important skill for kids to have. There's a big push right now in the industry world, and I believe giving kids the opportunity to see that hands-on experience with working with metal fabrication and machining, I hope to motivate some of them to look into that industry and into those industries and hopefully find themselves a nice paying job in that field.
I took metals because when I was in middle school I wanted to work in the metal shop, but we only had the wood shop to work in, and I've always wanted to learn how to weld and stuff. I would recommend it because it's a fun shop class to take, and if you don't really know how to work, if you don't really like working in shop, you don't want to take it.
Says I really enjoyed this class. It allowed me to be creative and innovative. Not only does it give you like a sense of accomplishment, it gives you like you can look back on it and just see a project that you made like in your house or like something made by you. Most people don't take tech ed classes because they think it's going to be too hard or like something that they're not into, but like I feel like everybody should try it because you never know what you can make, and like once you have your project, you can if you make something that's like useful, like a bench or like a table or like anything, you can have it and you can have it in your house for years and use it, and it's cool because you made it, and it's just people should give it a try.
I teach intro to metals, intro to wood, metal productions and wood productions. Why should you take them? Well, they're hands-on classes, no homework. You get to make things.
This class teaches us how to use machines that are computer program aided so that you can make your own projects from online. Like you could take a picture off online and turn it into some physical project. It's precise.
There's no homework, so that's nice. And I don't know, it gives you room to be creative, so you just do whatever, be as creative as you want.
In this class we utilize Corel Draw, we use SolidWorks, which is another 3D drawing program, and we use the laser engraver, the CNC router, and we have Vex robots that we can put together and program.
Because it's, like I said, a great opportunity. If you're ever interested in electronics or anything like that, there is no reason to not pursue your interest in anything regarding any interest you have.
You can build a bunch of stuff. I built a wine bottle holder for my parents, and it was their Christmas gift, and they really liked that. I drew it up on SolidWorks, and then I used a CNC machine to do the holder parts.
So what I did is I found a picture online and I put it into Corel Draw. You can take pieces of that picture and take them out. You can separate the pieces. And then what I did is make sure there's no lines, nothing else that the CNC router will cut accidentally. So that's all one Vex image per se, which is just a black image. And so I converted it into that and then put it on a flash drive and put it in the CNC router. Put it into NRoute, which will computer program your piece, your drawing, and it cut it out.
I don't know, it involves a lot of step planning. It's sort of like if you ever played with Legos when you were a kid, it's like adult Legos.
So the architecture class is a really cool class where students engage with the principles of design, drawing to scale, understanding building code, work triangles, materials, the way structures are built, and then using these computers to draw up floor plans and make three-dimensional houses.
It's pretty interesting because it's not just like building a house on the computer. You're also learning like the codes of what you need to meet. You're learning what looks wrong. Like you're learning about like a work triangle, how the sink and the stove and the fridge all need to like connect to each other. and you're also learning how to like meet a client's needs. Like you're sitting down with a client, talking to him, finding out what he needs, and trying to meet those needs. Even if you're not going to be an architect, it's still helpful because most jobs that you like work for somebody, you need to meet their needs because they're your client, and this helps with that. And because if you ever have a house that you need to paint or anything, or like get furniture for that house, you need to make sure it looks nice with the rest of the room.
Some of the skills that students will take with them after this course will certainly be principles of design, aesthetics, being able to draw a blueprint of just about anything. We want students to be able to
Animation class so far is taking something so simple such as a picture and being able to really break apart that picture and make something really entertaining out of it.
Come in here ready to work because we do a lot of projects, and some projects take some skill, but you can learn and make it easy.
Oh, I tell them that, well, you really need to kind of know your way around a computer. You can't just kind of go in there just free willy or whatever, just kind of do whatever you want. You kind of actually need to know the software and stuff. It's not simple. It's not iMovie or anything like that. So you actually need to know. You need to kind of study up on that stuff. And it does take a lot of learning and just hands-on work.
Hi, I'm Ms. Fritchman. I teach French, levels 1 through 4, as most of you know. French is an amazing language and it's used all throughout the world, so hopefully it's something that interests you. And I hope to see you in my class. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Green, and the students call me Senora Verde. I teach Spanish 1 and 2 and some 4. Spanish is a lot of fun. We learn Spanish by playing games, we tell stories, we read books. We just have a lot of fun in Spanish, so I hope you take it.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Me llamo Señor Hayes. Hi, how's it going? My name is Mr. Hayes. I teach Spanish 2, Spanish 3, and Spanish 4, and I look forward to having you in my advanced classes.
Hi, 你好，我是 Mrs. Hagen, and everyone call me 老师. That's a Chinese meaning teacher. And I hope you guys will want to learn the Chinese. It's very different language than what you have learned. And we have a lot of fan experience that you can try it out. And Chinese is a gate to open your world to the Asia. It's really basic, have a great influence on other East Asia country. And I also teach Asian culture. We generally focus on Japan, China, Korea, and India.
I am Mrs. Zona, and I'm a business teacher here at the high school. There are 2 electives that I teach that I want to talk to you guys about. The first one is the Lancer Ledger newspaper, what's called newspaper in the programming book.
Being in the newspaper changed my high school experience in that I got to interact with people that I wouldn't have otherwise, and I got to help people and educate them through my writing and the newspaper.
A really good class because it teaches you things that you're probably going to take with you to your career, like writing news and how to interview people that you might not talk to on a normal day-to-day basis. My favorite part is layout because it's really fun.
On your dashboard in the snow launch pad, and you're going to
I learned how to do layout and how things have to fit together like a puzzle, and then how to make a product at the end and meet a deadline for sure.
Okay.
The other elective I teach is youth and finance, And in this course you will learn practical money management skills, how to budget your money, how to plan for your retirement, how to manage credit cards effectively, why you should use insurance, how to invest your money and really grow it in a number of different investment options. So it's stuff you need to know as an adult, stuff you don't have to sit here and say, when will I ever use this? Because you're going to use those skills every day in life, especially how to be a good consumer.
Management, it is a very fun class. It teaches you a lot of business skills that most people should have.
It teaches you a lot about like normal retail stuff, such as purchasing, stocking shelves, making sure you have the required items you need to like actually run the store.
Be expected to do as much as you can and to be the best that you can. It's not an easy class, but it is a very fun class to do.
Hi, I'm Mr. Korb, and I've worked with the SAT prep class for the last few years, and you can see students spend much of their time working out of the SAT prep book. It's an opportunity for you to improve your SAT score and to learn the skills necessary to do your best on the test. We also use the Khan Academy, which is an online program which you can use independently, or you can be in the class to use the Khan Academy. I hope this has helped you make your decision in picking your elective. Thank you.
Well, first of all, the majority of the class we use Connects to build a lot of different kinds of projects. So it's a lot of hands-on building. Mr. Triola up in the middle school, I visited up there and saw some of the things he did, and that certainly got an interest for myself. I also went to a continuing education class, a STEM class at Penn State Behrend, and learned a few more ideas that I then brought some of these ideas to Mr. Menno and presented the opportunity to start this Math Connections class. I really enjoy teaching the class. It's certainly a relaxed atmosphere. The students are up, moving around most every period, and I just like that kind of atmosphere. It's fun. It's a fun class for the students. It's a fun class to teach as well. I think that this class gives a look at engineering and hands-on building in a fun way. And I think if kids like designing things and working with Connects and kind of playing in that way, it's a fun elective class that they should sign up for. At the end of the course, throughout the course we do a lot of team building, and each team builds the same thing. At the end of the course, we have a couple big projects. This is actually one of them we're working on right now, that we come together as a class and build an entire amusement park. So each individual, each team can build their own rides, design their own rides, and then we set up an entire amusement park as a class, and we go down to the grand lobby and set it all up. And it comes together and it looks pretty neat.
Mr. Salciento is actually a really good teacher. He's kind of laid back, and it's kind of nice to have one of those teachers. He's very interactive with all of us, and it's one of those things where we can have those days where we're not really working on things, and it's kind of hard, but he knows and can understand us very well.
Math Connections is a fun class. You get to really learn how to engineer and work together as teams and communicate with other people. And it's for freshmen through seniors, so you get to know all kids from different grades. My favorite part is probably working with different people on different things. So we've worked on bridges and towers, and then we've incorporated those things together, and just working with different people is always fun. I recommend it because it's a quarter class, so it's not very long, and you're still learning new things with everything you do, from bridges and towers, and it's very interesting.
This is anatomy.
This is Joe.
Um,
He teaches the class, not Mrs. Yanko.
It's a pretty cool class. Mrs. Yanko does teach the class.
Occasionally.
Joe just kind of sits
When
there.
Joe's busy.
Yeah. You learn about the body and stuff clearly.
These are bones.
Right here, this is the arm of
This
the leg.
is your elbow.
And
This is your foot.
yeah, so.
That's about all we know.
You should probably take this class so you can be more knowledgeable about your arms and your legs and stuff.
And your elbows.
So.
Pretty much it.
My name is Mr. Trush, and here are some of the courses that I teach. Physics 2 Accelerated, Physics 1, Intro to Physics, Astrophysics, and Nuclear Physics. Surprisingly, physics means nature, and so we put mathematical equations to describe things in nature. In nuclear physics, we talk about nuclear power plants and such. In astrophysics, we talk about, of course, the stars and the galaxies and black holes. Also in physics, we have some fun. So here I have a volunteer. She's going to come over and stand on these buckets. This is a Van de Graaff generator. 200,000 volts of static electricity. Do you have any heart problems?
No.
We'll find out. So what you're going to do is you're going to touch this with your fingertips and don't let go. Don't bend your knees. Okay? You ready? What's the rule?
Don't bend my knees.
And?
Don't let go.
And don't let go. Our hair is being filled with electrons. Shake your head. Shake really well. Put your head down and shake it. There you go. Look at the camera. And look at yourself in the mirror. So, physics is fun. Now, you don't want to get shocked, so don't let go. Now, I'm going to take some of those electrons out of her hair. Watch. There we go. Watch her hair. Her hair's coming down. The electrons are leaving, going into the marker rail. Now I'm going to take a whole lot all at once. Into me, into the ground. There you go. Thanks. And you survived. Very good. So those kinds of things we do in physics. Also, here's something else that could be challenging. Did you ever try to balance a pin on the head of a pin? Pretty incredible stuff. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't. And this is one of those times. Amazing. So, come and take physics and have some fun.
The AP Calculus 2 BC classes each year study a unit of applications of all the mathematics they've been working on. One of the applications is designing and building a three-dimensional figure, both physically and then theoretically.
It's taking a problem using abstract ideas and making it into some concrete thing.
You have to decide what materials you want to use and when you're going to do it.
A lot of the stuff we do has real life meanings where a derivative is like the rate of change of something. So let's say like a flow rate or emptying something out. So the amount of work it might take to empty a swimming pool, where that is always changing because the water is like coming from different heights because there's always different amounts in it. So like that is a real life application of how much stuff you're gonna actually need to do.
They choose a material of choice to design and build their three-dimensional object. They then have to slice it into pieces to compute the volume physically by hand. Then they design the calculus equations that will actually compute the volume for them.
It's a good thing to do, and there's a lot of real life application, and it's a good class to take because it helps you think better about certain problems.
It's a great project of problem solving, applications of math, and using the formulas that they've been studying.
Hey everybody, this is Mr. Moore. I'm here to tell you about the new AP Environmental Science course that we're looking to bring online next year. The course is going to discuss a bunch of topics from soil quality to air quality to water quality to population and how the human population impacts the environment. We'll take a look at issues like pollution and other current events that are going to impact the environment within your lifetime. We'll be able to get outside, we'll do some water sampling behind the school and possibly across the street, and maybe look to take other related field trips that are part of the class and relate to the topics. So we hope to get you guys interested in it and take it. The course will be taught by either Mrs. Yonko or myself. We're both looking to teach one section next year, one in the fall, one in the spring. And the last thing you should know is that the prerequisite, since it is an AP course, you need to have finished all of your biology requirements. So that's Bio 1 and Bio 2 or Bio 1 Accelerated, and a chemistry course, either Chemistry 1 or Chemistry 1 Accelerated. Hope to see you guys next year.
Hi, my name is Mr. Yates, and I'm the Director of Vocal Music and Theater here at General McLean High School. And I teach a variety of classes. Probably the one that's most popular is Broadway Dinner. There's a 9th and 10th grade Broadway Dinner class, and there's an 11th and 12th grade Broadway Dinner class. You being 8th graders coming in, you would take the 9th and 10th grade class. And in order to be in Broadway Dinner, you must also take another choir, and we offer a variety of other choirs here at the school. One of the choirs that would probably interest most of you would be either the Holiday Choir, which is a choir that sings holiday music and performs a holiday concert. And then there's also the Spring Concert Choir, which follows Broadway Dinner. And if you're super serious about music, especially singing, that might be the choir for you as well. Then we also offer, for singing ensembles, there's a women's ensemble. It's a smaller group, and we get more into vocal technique and working on the voice, working on part singing, and we sing everything from madrigals to a cappella jazz. Then there's also the GM Vocal Jazz, which is a select group. Not often do we have freshmen in that class. However, depending on your ability level and recommendations from Miss Amatuzo, there's a chance that we could even get you in that class. Aside from choir classes, I also teach electronic music, and we do a lot of things with the iPad, working with GarageBand, and we also learn about how to run sound systems and working with basically music electronically. And then I also finally offer a music theory class. There's different levels of that, and if you want to learn the inner workings of music and how composers use notes, chords, rhythms to create music, that would be a class for you. So there's a variety of offerings, and hope you consider possibly taking a few of those.